there, welcome to Let's Talk Tottenham, and again, all odds, although some people did call it, we beat Man City after 3 losses in a row, 3 losses away to City in a row as well, saying 3 losses in a row to Man City, Tottenham are always going to be difficult, but I don't think, well, certainly I didn't expect that at all, but I thought we looked really good. So they obviously had a lot more possession. And, you know, I said last week on Friday, top 4's done because I was so angry after the Wolves game, and now I'm believing again. Why did Tottenham do it to me? Why do I allow them?
They suck you in, mate. They suck you in. That's the problem.
2 great guests with me. Brad, who's been on numerous times. How you doing, Brad?
Hey, doing, Chris, all right?
And Josh. How you doing, Josh? I think
I'm not too bad, thank you, mate. Second time.
Yeah. And you said it yourself. They suck us in.
It's like a roller coaster of emotions, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's like a roller coaster. You go on some deep plummet, and then all of a sudden there's just something that you're on the opposite. You're on the incline again.
We're gonna crash. We're gonna crash. Oh no, it's like Thunderbirds, isn't it? We're gonna crash.
Yeah.
We're not gonna make
Josh, 5.
Josh, I know you've got a YouTube channel. It's in the description anyway. But for anyone who doesn't know, where can people find it? No, I've just said it's on YouTube. But tell us a bit about it.
Yeah, so Josh, the Tottenham guy. I'm on YouTube. I've taken a little bit of a break from making content for a little while. Sort of took the whole of January off. Slowly starting to get back into the swing of it. So we're getting there. But yeah, Josh, the Tottenham guy over on YouTube. JTTG1882 over on Twitter. If you are interested in finding me over there. That's me.
Excellent. Both Josh's and Brad's Twitter handles are in the description, and Josh's channel as well. So let's get into this. It's not often we sort of let's get into it quickly because there's a win to talk about. But usually let's prolong it a little bit because there's a bit of a loss. But Conte's
Just inject it. Just inject the moment into my veins.
Yeah, Conte's tactics. I didn't think they were too dissimilar to Nuno's, Brad, in the home game. Let them have it wide because they don't have that striker. And for some reason, they were seemingly just crossing it in. I know one goal came from both goals came from a cross, essentially, but not onto anyone's head. And we'll talk about the Lloris mistake and the Romero handball in a bit. But I think don't let De Bruyne in the middle have the ball. You've got a chance against Man City. And obviously, Kane coming deep, who we'll talk about later. We have to talk about Kane after a few weeks off. Kane coming deep, Kulusevski and Son running wide, and that's our counter-attack. But tactics spot on, weren't they? Well, you have to say they were.
It's a often used cliche, but a Conte masterclass. There's no other way of putting it. It's interesting in the Kane-Son interview where they spoke about the pass that Kane made to Son for that first goal. And he said that they've been practicing it on the training ground, that Conte had pointed out there was a possible weakness there in the City team to get round the back like that. And it just worked perfectly. And I think the thing is, we actually played some really good football when we were going forward. It was on the break a lot of the times. But if you look at the Kane missed chance, that started in our own penalty area. And we went up the
passes, something like that.
Yeah, exactly. And even the winning goal. We could have sat back and just let them go on for the draw. But no, let's play some football. And that winning goal was a good piece of football. So all these people, mainly City fans, obviously, saying, "Oh, it's anti-football," which they're going to say when you lose anyway. But yeah, it's not. It's just a really good team performance. I mean, Kane, as we'll speak about later, was absolutely brilliant. But we won that game because we played as a team. The team won that game. No real individual won it. So, no, it's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, and Josh, what did you think of it? I mean, we spoke about it off air. We have a counter-attacking team. Teams who open up against us and attack us, we're going to have that counter-attack opportunity. Burnley may be different, but
yeah.
I mean, did you see that result coming? And what did you think of the actual game and the actual performance that we put in?
I've turned around and said in multiple different WhatsApp groups and stuff that if we didn't play 3-5-2, we weren't going to get anything out of this game. And obviously, I saw the lineup and I was like, "Oh God, here we go again! It's going to be another 4-5-0 absolute destruction by Man City." And then, long and behold, we get 3 points out of them. Just to put it into perspective, Man City have lost 3 times this season, all season, and we're responsible for 2 of those losses. We are literally the bogeyman for Man City. Inject that into my veins.
It's happened again. Manchester City, it's happened again.
Yeah. Well, it just goes to prove we are bigger in every single way apart from the money that they've got. Who needs money when you got Conte? Hey?
But I mean, I was slightly surprised when I saw the lineups, City's lineup, Fernandinho was on the bench. I know he's getting on a bit and everything like that. Rodrigo, I think that's his name, is kind of his replacement. But he made the same mistake Pep kind of in the Champions League final where he didn't play him, and then Chelsea had the middle of the pitch. Certainly with Kane coming deep, which you know he's going to do because he's been doing it for 2 years now. He would have, certainly that first goal, he would have stopped, maybe not stopped it, but he'd have made Kane have to make a touch, by which point some would have been offside, I think. Do you think he made a mistake, Pep, or do you just think we were spot on the money, our game plan?
Pep's a fraud.
Yeah. Or do you think Conte just got his tactics absolute spot on and it wouldn't have mattered who was playing for City?
I think it's a tactical masterclass by Conte because in theory, he played 2 different formations, the 2 different setups. When we were defending, we were playing the 5-4-1, and then when we were attacking, it was more like a 3-5-2. It was perfect. I think the way that we played and the execution of how we played was absolutely incredible. I can't fault a single player on our team. Even Emerson Royal put in some key passes, and that's saying everything you need to know.
Well, I thought he was absolutely superb, Emerson. Normally you're asking him to attack, and then when we
he plays so defensive.
Yeah, I think you're asking him to attack, and then when we lose the ball, you've got to switch focus and disciplines to defend.
Yeah,
he was just asked to defend. A couple of times he went forward, but they were very, very few and far between. But when he was just asked, Brad, just defend, he looked really solid. I thought.
I don't think he's a bad defender. I'm a bit of the let's give him a bit of a chance fan club. I think
you're in the 1% of people that believe that.
Well, yeah, but maybe I'm on the 1% that's right. But I think it was all about opinions. But I think there was a stat earlier in the season where he had the most tackles in our team. I think he actually can defend. And yes, we do concentrate on his crossing ability, which is what we all know is rubbish, and we hope that will improve. I mean, Conte in his press conference says my plan is to improve every player. So there you go. There's one area that can improve.
This is the thing. Like before Emerson Royal come to us, what not a lot of people don't seem to understand is he never played right wing back before ever.
Exactly. Yeah,
he come into Tottenham and was asked to play that right wing back position as a right back. He proved it yesterday. As a defender, he can defend.
Yeah.
I say yesterday because we always do it. He proved on Saturday. Can defend. He can defend.
Yeah,
but. You can't ask him to do two. You can't ask him to do two jobs. He has to stick to defending. If he sticks to defence, he'll slap it easy.
I think you also had the situation, as you said, Josh, about the 5-4-1 when we're defending. So not only did he have Romero helping him out, he also had Kulusevski helping him out as well, and the same on the other side.
Kulu's a baller. Kulu is a baller.
Everyone goes on about him not having any pace, but he's very strong.
Neither did a little player called Teddy Sheringham have any pace.
Exactly.
If you've got a footballing brain, you don't really need it.
Going back to the right back situation. Okay, let's make the caveat that Spurs aren't going to win the title with Emerson Royal and Doherty as our 2 right backs. But at the moment, that's what we got to the end of the season. And I got asked this question: who would I see at right back? And I said, without a shadow of a doubt, Emerson, because I think he's a better defender than Doherty is. So I think we need to realise that these are the 2 players we got for the rest of the season, and then hopefully improve during the summer. But I thought the performance from everyone was. I can't pick a bad. Even Lloris, who made that error for their first goal, that save he pulled off was
superb.
That was in. I'm watching that, but there you go, there's the goal, and he somehow saved it. It was absolutely brilliant. It's those sort of things that win you games, or you don't lose games. But that was a great save, and it made up for that error in the first half.
Yeah, talking of Lloris, he obviously needs to cut the mistakes out. That's 3. How many? 4 in 2 games now. I mean, what I do find interesting, Josh, is if that was Sanchez who made that mistake, he'd be absolutely destroyed and pillared, because it's Lloris who has been a brilliant servant and for the best part of a year, 2 years now, has been absolutely superb. And he obviously made that save. He gets a little bit of a reprieve. Not that I'm saying everyone should be going on Lloris's back now. But if it was Sanchez, I think people would be going, drop him, useless, absolutely terrible, get out of my club. Lloris needs to just cut those mistakes out, right, to stop that happening. But, it's a testament to him that he didn't let it affect him, because that was an unbelievable save from Gundogan. But yeah, he needs to cut those out. What say you on that point?
I think the difference, the analogy that you've given using Davinson Sanchez, I think is a little bit of a reach in the sense of Hugo Lloris will make one or two mistakes, but he always shows that he's still got it in his locker. Davinson Sanchez never has, in my opinion anyway. He made a couple of fumbles against Wolves. Yeah, I mean, he's the reason we conceded 2 goals against Wolves, but he's also the reason we didn't concede 6 or 7. And it's the same as Man City. He made one mistake, but then he recovered very well, and then he still showed it that he has got that athleticism in his locker where he will put his body on the line and dive for a ball. When he went that fantastic save that he pulled out of his locker, I was worried afterwards that the guy was going to go off injured.
Yeah.
Like when he went down on his shoulder, I was like, I cannot, I do not want to see Galini in a Spurs shirt again, like ever. So I was seriously worried that Hugo was going to be out injured. But it goes with the whole narrative that it's the Tottenham contract extension curse, where they extend their contract and they're shit for about 4 or 5 weeks and they come back into form. He's only recently renewed his contract, so like if that curse is as legit as they say, then it's going to take a little while for him to get back into it. But I mean, for me, Hugo Lloris is undeniably the best goalkeeper in the league for me. Like he's not afraid. He's a leader from behind, and he's fantastic. And I just wish it was more than 2 years that we got him for now.
Yeah, he'll be 36, 7 when that 2 years is up. So I think the 2 years is he's in for a year, and then he's going to be not training his replacement, but fighting with his eventual replacement in the second year. But I think, I mean, just does make a good point, Galini.
Galini could not. That guy could not catch COVID.
And I guess as well with Lloris, the person you've got after him is Galini, that no one's really got any faith in. Sanchez, he's got at least 2 defenders who are better than him at the club, so that's possibly why he gets it. But in terms of, I know if Tommy's watching, he won't like this, but Dier back, we've won a game with Dier back. I mean, back with
Supposed to show.
Yeah,
Romero, just says everything.
Yeah, and Romero, we've already talked about Emerson looking solid, but I think it deserves a mention again just because how he's been criticised, quite rightly so. But, when he does play well, which I thought he looked absolutely solid and deserves a mention there. Romero, not in the centre this time, out on the right with Dier in the middle. Bad for you? Is that the defensive partnership? And did Dier make that much difference? And Dier back and Romero moving over, did that make that much difference? Because City...
I think so. I think so. Just on the organisational aspect, you could see him there, just pulling them up, putting them back, stay there. He was organising it. We haven't looked organising our defence in the last 2 games that we lost. Romero is a very, very good player, but he's again like Emerson. Romero's 23. He shouldn't be in that position where he has to organise a defence. He's a great defender. I'd rather see him playing where all he has to do is defend, and Dier's there doing all the organising. I mean, on the other side, Ben Davies had a good game as well in that position. So you just got to hope that we can keep this team going for the rest of the season, that we don't have any bad injuries.
Talking of Ben Davies, I didn't know he had the Toby Alderweireld ball in him. The offside goal was
exactly,
him. 50 yards, 60 yards. I didn't know he had it in him.
And again, at the end of the season, when we're looking at improving and doing something, obviously Conte, being Conte, will want to go for the title. He will want that. And us Spurs fans will want that as well. And at the end of the season, you have to think, well, okay, Davies has played really, really well there, but you've probably got to upgrade that position if you're going to be winning titles. So but at the moment, that's the defence we've got. That's the defence that seems to play the best. Dier is good at organising them. And you could see them. You could see the line of 5 and the line of 4 when we were defending. It was just perfect. And that was with a week of Conte drilling them. So if they can, I thought the problem with our defence in the last 2 games was not that Conte was the fact that they couldn't follow Conte's instructions. But now it seems to me that with Dier, they've got someone on the pitch that can communicate those instructions to the players. Whereas I think before they didn't have that. It's all like, what do we do now? What do we do now, boss? Sort of thing. But when you got that player there, and that I think that is in any good team, you have to have a player on that pitch, though, whether it's Dier, whether it's whoever. You've got to have a player in the pitch that can follow out the instructions from the coach and communicate it to the team around him, and not wanting to bring up the double team because they brought up quite a lot. Danny Blanchard did that for Bill Nicholson. Danny Blanchard was Bill Nicholson's man on the pitch, and that's what all the teams have, and hopefully with Tottenham, that's what we'll have for the rest of the season.
Yeah, a couple of comments. One comment. Ryan and Kirst in the chat. Thanks so much for watching. Alan Harris as well. I thought I'm assuming super chat would be up here. We'll wait till next week. I don't have anywhere near enough followers, Alan.
Don't stop a chat.
We're 191 subscribers at the moment. So everyone watching, thank you so much for watching and getting involved in the chat. Please hit the subscribe. Please hit the like, and then go into the description. Do the same for Josh on his channel. But yeah, Kulusevski, Josh. Clinical and disciplined. I was superbly pleased about his finishing and assisting. If he could look across the line, then he'd have had another assist. But that's a very small blight. Being at how we played, we'll let him off that one. But I think the goal, a lot of players might have taken a touch there. The defender then gets onto him and then blocks it because he's too close. He took that very clinically. Obviously, the plan was there. Kane deep, him and Son either side, and he was always looking for the ball. But what I was particularly pleased about is after about 15, 20 minutes, City were getting on top with Emerson being bombarded 2v1 with Cancelo and Sterling. And then Kulusevski, for then 10 minutes, has then come back and tracked back. Either he's done that himself, Conte's told him to, Emerson's asked him to, or a combination of all three. But I'm not sure Mora has that discipline on that side. So clinical, can get how Conte wants forward, but also has that discipline as well to help out the fullback and has that mindset as well. I mean, he's done himself no harms at all. He's got to be in the starting lineup for Burnley, hasn't he? And then he's got to use this as a benchmark. This is my benchmark. I can go high now and continue to play like that because he was absolutely superb. And if you'd have given him man of the match, Kane will obviously get it. If you'd have given him man of the match, there probably wouldn't have been too many arguments.
This is the thing. What people were failing to understand is that in that match against Man City, Kulusevski had 100% goal participation. This guy is an absolute baller. I said this before the transfer window even opened. I was over on Tommy's stream when I literally had made a PowerPoint presentation about Kulusevski, saying that this guy is absolutely incredible. He has racked up the same amount of assists and goals as Lucas Moura in literally a fraction of the playing time, and this is a long-term replacement for Moura. And I think now that he's come into the team and he's performed the way that he has, my point's been proven. Everyone that was sitting there hating Kulu after last week, where are you now? Where are those Kulu haters now? The ones that were saying, "Oh, he's bang average, he isn't going to fit in." The guy has literally just paid his dues by helping us beat City. Like, there is nothing more satisfactory about a player coming in on his first debut game of the season, banging 2 assists and getting a goal. That's perfect. That's exactly the kind of creativity player that we need in the midfield.
And he was always a threat, wasn't he?
He was always a threat.
Kane almost put him through. He was about 3 yards offside because Kane took an extra touch. But the not anticipation, but the desire to get forward, that's the game plan. Kane comes deep as soon as he gets the ball under control on your bike. And right at the end as well, 90 plus 9 minutes because the referee decided Man City needed another few minutes.
What was that?
90 plus 9 minutes. He was chasing Cancelo down, sprinting down. And this was after 99 minutes, after which he's had to show huge mental concentration, obviously physical work as well. And he's still able to chase stuff down. I think if he can play like that and he can use that as a benchmark, we've got a real player there.
Yeah, no, 100%. I agree, and I think he is Lucas Moura's replacement. If you think about it, Lucas Moura is 29 years old. He's only got a couple of years left in him as an outfield player, and he wants to go back to Brazil for a year. So I could genuinely see this summer being the season that Lucas Moura goes back to Brazil for a year before he retires. But I genuinely think that Kulusevski is the guy for the job, and he needs to be a regular starter. Him and Bentancur in the midfield that's a destructive pairing waiting to happen. The thing I like about Kulu is that he plays on the right, but he's also left-footed, so he can cut in on the middle and then through ball. But then he's also got a decent cross with his right foot, which he proved against Man City. So the guy, he's what's the ambidextrous with his feet, if that makes sense. But he can use both feet. Yeah, he's 2-footed. He can use both feet, but that left foot, that left foot. If he can catch the ball on his left foot and get and bang it top bins, the guy has got a lethal left foot. Mark my words. When that guy scores a screamer, you know about it.
Actually, bipedal, I think, just means us, that we walk on two legs. I think that's what bipedal means. Anyway, also we seem to forget that Kulusevski was Young Player of the Year in Italy a couple of seasons.
2 years ago. Yeah.
And he plays for Juventus. Now, you have to imagine that playing for Juventus, there's going to be a lot of pressure. So he's come to a pressure league. He's come to a physical league. So he's obviously played under pressure. He's obviously okay with the physical game. And, I was very, very impressed. And, look, the people that are going, oh, he's rubbish. For what, 2 20-minute appearances or whatever it was? You've got to give these players a chance, see what they can do. And he was amazing on Saturday.
Just give him a couple of weeks.
It's interesting Conte is talking about him as a wing back as well. So maybe you might have a situation.
It would make sense. It would make sense. It kind of fits Conte's remit in a sense. Like Kulusevski he's played every position in the midfield. And we know that he can play in that midfield position, but what's he like as a wing back? We never know. We're never going to find out unless it actually happens. Well, if it works for Victor Moses, why can't it work for Kulusevski? They're both similar kind of player.
I think that the fact how he helped out Emerson, I think that shows that he could be, because he's got that kind of mindset in him. A couple of comments here. Alan noticed they attempted to close players quicker on Saturday to avoid crosses coming in early. We only missed that once, and that was the goal, but we've already spoken about that. Simply Ace. I like Kulu. He's a player that works hard, looks on the ball, gets into good position, passed and crossed well. Also, he plays without fear.
Yeah.
And isn't it great to see? Isn't it great to see Bob Spur appearing in comments again?
I actually had the pleasure of speaking to Bob Spur earlier on, and it's so great to see him slowly getting back into the scene again, man.
Absolutely. I can only imagine and only hope that it's only a matter of time until you see him on video on his own channel and others as well.
The first episode of In the Wall.
Anytime.
Yeah. The first episode of In the Wall.
Oh, yeah. The
first ever episode of In the Wall after he comes back from his extended leave, obviously for medical reasons. That is going to be the most watched Tottenham stream ever, guaranteed.
Quite rightly so
about
as well.
400 guests on it,
Be a 12-hour all-day stream.
It's great to see him on here, but he has actually put a comment in as well. So let's read that out. Kulo not only played outstanding in attacking third, helped out defensively. It shows he's clever and has the capability of taking on responsibilities that help the team. Unsung hero, absolutely. George then heard you early on the other channel, Bob Spur. Get well soon. We all echo that here. Get well soon, Bob, and come back soon. And then glad to see you back and involved. Alan says, try and catch your pods in the future. Absolutely. I mean, In the Wall is coming back. I'm absolutely convinced of it. Hopefully not too long away. But yeah, Brad, Kulu, Son and Kane seem to have, I mean, obviously the game plan was them three in the attacking third. But yeah, everyone did their job. Kane coming deep, but you know what he's going to do. Look for the runners. And then Kulu, Son's always a willing runner because he knows Kane's game inside out. But Kulu was as well. And I mean, that bodes very well, doesn't it? Three, we all talk about Liverpool, the three up top who look like they have been playing together for years, but even years ago, looked like they've been playing together for years. And certainly on Saturday, it looked like they'd been playing together for years. Obviously, the game plan was there. And you can argue and raise a case that for all 4 goals, essentially, the defending by City was absolutely atrocious. But you still have to get into those positions and do your bit going forward. And I thought they were absolutely superb, all 3 of them. We'll talk about the other 2 a bit later on, but yeah, it looked like potentially a real good treble partnership there.
Yeah, I mean, the way they played on Saturday, where they were breaking quickly and also helping out defensively, suggests to me that the fitness is coming with this team, and that the fitness that Conte's working on, which is always a big thing at Tottenham since Pochettino. That this is a fit team. I do worry that we have to play Burnley on a Wednesday. I'd rather it being like another week's break, so we can have another week on the training pitch, another week of training, of fitness, because we had a lot of players go down injured in that second half. We had Lloris go down, we had Højbjerg go down, we had Kane go down. I think Romero.
I don't think those injuries were legit, though. I think the Harry Kane
I
back
think
injury was a bit insane.
I don't remember Højbjerg. I don't remember Højbjerg going down. I remember Lloris and Kane, but I think that's
Romero and Kane went down at the same time.
Yeah.
I think we're winning here. Times are coming to an end. Let's slow this down because City are going to come at us like the Alamo here, slow the game down. I'm with Josh there. I'm not sure they were legit.
well, if that is the case, which I see your point there. If that is the case, then great.
But you see, they're saying that you see, they're saying that you wish they'd done another week on the training pitch. Let's not forget, Man City ain't that far away from Burnley.
No,
there's nothing saying they could have. They might have just stayed up there and used another training facility.
Well, they went there by coach, didn't they?
Exactly.
Of the storm. But
they might still be up there.
It'd be interesting to see what team Conte puts out. I mean, on Wednesday.
Kulu and Bentancur need to start as a matter. That's 100%. You cannot not start them together. They need to start.
Yeah. The only criticism I had of Bentancur was the first goal. It's gone out to Sterling, and he's kind of stopped and let him cross it. But that's my only criticism, which is a little bit harsh. But he was instrumental in that third goal, and I've not done this before, so I'm going to start this now, and that's this. I have a screen grab.
Whoa!
Now you can see Cancelo there. Took me ages. I couldn't figure out how to do the circles on iPhone. It took me ages. So what's happened is, as soon as Kulu's got the ball, he's given it to Doherty there. He's Cancelo's dived in and gone over on his arse. Gundogan is then the nearest to Kulu. It ends up going to, I think, Romero and then Benny. And Gundogan stops. So Cancelo's on the floor. Gundogan stops. Kulu keeps running. And without even looking almost, Bentancur just plays it over the top to him. And that's what creates the third goal and the amount of space there. So, I mean, you can obviously say, well, it's obvious because that's where the space is. But to me, it says there's an understanding there. And certainly with the game plan, which was getting Kulu running on the right side, Son on the left or swapping over. But it's that forward ball. Winks has started doing it, but he isn't as good as it as possibly he should be. And it wasn't the greatest ball in the world. It wasn't direct to his feet, but it was over the top. But it's into the space. And the goals come from that. But I think as well, he's possibly stronger, Kulu, than people give him credit for, because he's not Cancelo on his arse, but just by standing there. But Bentancur, like I said, come to Josh. The only criticism I have was he let Sterling cross the ball, but then, Lloris should have gathered that up and it shouldn't have happened anyway. But that was my only criticism. But that ball there has made that third goal, as well as, Kulu knocking someone on the floor. And Bob Spur, look at Chris and his technology. It's an iPhone with edit and circles.
Pushing the boat out. Yeah. Love it.
Yeah. And George, how you doing, George? So glad to see a very good midfield. We have a gaping hole there all season. But Bentancur, Josh, overall, like Kulu, he's had a couple of sub appearances. He played against Wolves, didn't he? But he looked superb in this game. Other than and the I think it was the Kane chance, the 1-on-1 that he missed. It was he got the ball just outside of his box. It's almost like a Dembele turn, and then he's fed it to, I think, Son, Kane, and then back to Bentancur again. So not only is he good defensively and everything like that, he's got an attacking and an attacking intent on. So I think those two, I mean, it obviously came, the transfer window came just before the two losses, and we're all down in the dumps. But certainly on Saturday, if they can play like that, we got potentially two real gems there.
Yeah, no, 100%. I said when I first saw Bentancur play that something about him gives me Moussa Dembele vibes. Like, just the way that he plays, I get those kind of vibes from him. He's never going to be Moussa Dembele. I'm not saying at all. But I get the kind of vibes. It's a similar kind of play style. He's got an eye for the ball. He isn't afraid to get stuck in, and he's got that grit and tenacity. But let's not remember, the first touch he ever had wearing a Spurs shirt was this absolute peach of a turn back where he just takes the ball, turns it and passes it. Complete ball control. It just goes to show what this guy is capable of. Just that one touch alone. Like, we always, first opinions are always important. And I think everyone's first opinion of Bentancur was he's incredible. And I stick by that now. He is absolutely incredible. He's got an eye for the ball as well. If he sees a position open up, he's going to ping that ball. Doesn't matter if it's 20 yards, 30 yards, or 40 yards. He's going to loft that ball into open space. That is the kind of player that we need. Again, that creative midfielder that isn't afraid to get stuck in. And I think that Bentancur is that guy. He's incredible. He's going to be one of our. He's going to be pivotal to our incline.
And about 15 million quid as well, wasn't it? I think it was 19 million euros.
19 million euros, yeah. So
around about
16 million pounds.
Yeah,
16
million,
yeah.
Give or take a million here or there. But yeah, 23 as well. Simply Ace has said he's surprised Bentancur and Kulu came. Is that Don Paratici? Is that Don Paratici, or should we not be saying? To
be fair, I wasn't too sure about Bentancur because I didn't really know too much about him. But Kulusevski, I'd done my research into him, like I said earlier on, and I was convinced that this guy would be a good fit. And long and behold.
Got a comment here from Matareo. I think I've pronounced that right. And looking at his flag, it looks like he's Swedish, so he should know quite a lot about Kulusevski, saying he played well because Conte's setup was very much alike how he plays with the national team.
But they're talking about him as Abramovich's replacement, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean they're big.
I mean, if he's half as good as Abramovich, well, we got a good player.
Yeah. And a couple more comments. Bob Spur, remember Kulu was a player chasing down the City defender just before the final whistle. Yeah. Great stamina, like we said, like 99 minutes. Alan Harris, Winks wouldn't have played that ball; it would have gone back to Dier. I'm not sure this season. Certainly last season, when around the cup final time, I'm adamant that you're right there, Alan, but he's been playing forward a lot recently. I'm just not sure he'd have played it into the right area. And George said, surely Bentancur and Kulu would improve with Premier League experience, biggest test of City away, and they pass with flying colours. Absolutely. You've got to follow that on now.
Also, the other thing is, and I'm not sure what the stats will show, but they both come from Juventus, so they've obviously played with each other. So there must be some sort of understanding there.
Yeah.
I mean, remember when we had Vertonghen and I know it's a different position. We had Vertonghen and Alderweireld. They both played with each other at Ajax, and it showed. So hopefully these two just know a bit about each other's game anyway. So yeah, and I think what's interesting what Conte said about the best group of people.
I saw that. Yeah,
it's great. I mean, and maybe it's because there are players in this club now that can actually do his instructions and play as a team. And maybe after the really bad defensive performances in the last two games, that they're starting to actually get it right now and understand
I'm not sure. I still think City are a team that suit us because they attack us.
And this is big,
it's going to be similar at Anfield, I think, where Burnley could be bottom in League Two. You never ever get an easy game. You obviously have to earn your wins everywhere that you go, but you really have to earn your wins at Burnley because you're in for a battle as soon as that whistle goes. If you're not up for the battle, you're going to get beaten regardless.
I think if we can win our next 3 games, and that's including the cup game, then I will start to believe that we can get top 4 and get to the cup final.
Yeah,
but it's still a big ask. Let's be honest with it. Look, we're all incredibly happy after the Man City and deservedly so. But we're all depressed after the 2 previous games. So let's not forget that this is Tottenham Hotspur Football Club we're talking about. So the next 3 games are key to our season, really, because we've got to follow this up by. It's no use beating City home and away and then losing to Burnley.
Absolutely.
So we have to go to Burnley and beat them, and then go to Leeds and win that game, and then go to there's going to be a winner anyway in the Middlesbrough game because it will go to extra penalties, and then win up in Borough, and then we've gain 9 points from free game, and we're in the quarterfinal of the cup. So, I must admit, I'm a very big one of law of averages. I hope we don't draw City in the cup if we get through.
Well, we keep
Sod's law, wouldn't it? Sod's law, we'll draw them in the cup and we get
them, so you never know.
Yeah, exactly, that's right.
Well, a couple of comments. Audio Artisan, evening chaps. How you doing, buddy? Matareo again. You don't start for Juve for 4 seasons if you are a bench warmer and a freshman. Bentancur will be great. I just don't get why they let him go for so little. 19 million for a guy that had started 4 seasons is a steal. George has then said Bentancur was a Juve first teamer. You don't play in that team for so long without playing at a high level, in my opinion.
I think the reason they let him go,
Matareo and. Kirst as well, like the stream. Thanks so much for your support and watching. And Alan, something I didn't think about. The thing is, Burnley can't sit back, although I think they probably can because their season isn't going to hinge on whether they beat Tottenham or not. As a draw is a good result for them. And there's still 20, not 20, is there? 15, 16, 17 games left. So their season will be defined on how they do against the Norwiches and the teams around there. But yeah, sorry, Josh.
Yeah, I can't remember what I was going to say now. Oh, yeah. The reason that Bentancur was let go for so cheap is because Juventus wanted Vlahovic. Notice how we got those two. The two players that we signed from Juventus ultimately funded the Vlahovic deal.
Yeah.
What's more important, an attacking player that can bang you 50 goals a season in all competitions, or a midfielder? I know which I prefer. So Vlahovic for them was the priority, which is why we got him for 20 million. So,
do you think Paratici had this as an idea in the back of his head that, well, okay, if I can't get the players that we want, Diaz is those sort of players that I know that I can go to Juventus and get a couple of theirs because they need the money.
Well, I mean, I don't like Paratici. I've been very vocal about it. I do not like Paratici. I don't like the way that he works. I think he's a con artist. He left Juventus in such a sticky position, which is why they're currently being investigated for fraudulent transactions. And it's all because of the dealings under Paratici. Let's not forget the guy signed Aaron Ramsey on a free for 400 grand a week. Like, he says everything that you need to know about the kind of person that he is. And the fact that we're now getting these Juventus players in, it's starting to make me wonder: is he doing this to try and get back in the favours of Juventus? So hopefully there is a move back potentially there for him. So he can sort of rectify his mistake from a third party. I don't like I said, and I cannot make this clear enough. I do not like Paratici. Period. I'm never going to.
Be honest, Josh.
So, just so to clarify, are you saying you're not a fan? Is that what you're saying?
Mate, I don't hate anyone. I think hate is a very, very strong word. I'm just not overly joyed by his existence.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll see in the summer, we'll see who we can sign. And, if you think he wants to go back to Juventus, well, then that's up to Tottenham, the coach and the board and leaving all these people to make him want to stay. So
that's just my own speculation. I think he's trying to find a way back to Italy, and he can't go back there until the Juventus drama and fiasco settled. Yeah.
Well, no, I must admit, it's not the Premiership. It's not sort of place you go to hide away, is it, for something like that? Sort of,
No, but you think about it, if you look at the deals that he did, right? So he bought Romero in, right?
Yeah.
The day that Romero officially became a Sampdoria, was it Sampdoria or was it Juventus? Who did we get him from? Atalanta.
Yeah.
The day that he officially become an Atalanta player, we signed him literally instantly. He was on loan from Juventus with a loan with an option to buy. The day that he signed his contract at Atalanta, he came to Spurs.
But wasn't that was already on the cards, though, wasn't it? I think that's
but I also believe that there was a buyback, a sell-on clause where they got a percentage of what.
But I think that was sort of known. I think that I mean, I certainly read about it. I sort of knew that he was another Juventus player, and that he had to come back, and they had to buy him and then sell him on to Tottenham, sort of thing. I knew that. So
it's something about Paratici just doesn't smell right with me. I mean, he's bought Conte in, fantastic, well done, but he also bought in Nuno, and this guy is very, very good friends with Nuno, and we've this has been made perfectly clear. He is friends with Nuno, hence why there was speculation a little while ago that Nuno was coming back as the academy director.
I haven't heard that one. That's a new one on me, really.
Did you not know about this?
No, I haven't heard it. No.
Yeah, I mean, Simply Ace has said that he'll raid Serie A again next year. A couple
this
more.
This is all well and good, but we are not Juventus. We are not Fiorentina. We are not Atalanta. We are Tottenham Hotspur, right? We cannot raid the Italian league and expect it to perform. It's like buying a Ferrari second-hand and expecting it to drive brand new. It's not going to work. You need to buy players that are Premier League proven, because otherwise this team is not going to gel. Yeah, we've had a striker luck with the likes of Romero. We've had a striker luck with Kuhn. We've had a striker luck with Bentancur. But that's not to say that it's going to happen with every single other player. Emerson is absolutely dog shit. I don't care what anyone says. As a right wing back, the guy is terrible. Galini couldn't catch COVID. Like this, these are the kind of signings. He's hit and miss at the moment. He's made, how many signings has he made now? Oh yeah, and Pepe Matasar as well. He bought him and then loaned him back out again, and now he's in a relegation battle with Metz. It just goes. You can never really tell how a transfer window is going to go when you've got a director of football like Paratici at the wheel. I don't quite like it.
I think most directors of football or whatever his new fandangled title is, I mean, they always have a hit and miss. They always get decent players in, and some players don't work. I think they would have done their homework about whether Bentancur and Kulusevski is okay for the Premiership. Because I certainly think Kulusevski is.
Kulusevski, I think out of the two, Bentancur is more suited to the Premier League than Kulusevski. Simply just because of his attacking style and his play style. It's more defensive, but he can ping balls. Yeah. Kulusevski is. You don't often see an inverted winger who. A left-footed right winger that can cut in on the inside. We don't often see that. In Serie A, it's a predominant thing. You don't see that in the Premier League often enough. Which is why Bentancur is more suited for the Premier League. And for Kulusevski to make it as like a 5-star player, it's going to take a lot of work. Bentancur can slip right in and do that by the end of the year. We never know.
Yeah. Couple of comments to your comments, Brad, about the games coming up. To be honest, they're all important, but the 3 games most important to get top 4 will be Man United, Arsenal, and Spam.
Well, actually, yeah. I mean, you took the words right out of my mouth. I have been saying that as well in recent weeks. And the Man United game, the Arsenal game, probably the West Ham game, but I don't think they'll be thereabouts. But certainly the other 2, they're 6-pointers. I mean, let's put at the moment. I think the old game in hand situation has gone now.
We're level. It has over West Ham and Man United. It has. We're level with Arsenal.
Arsenal, it's not. We are 3 points behind Arsenal. I'm not sure if we got a game in hand or not.
3 games in hand. 3 games in hand.
If we won a game in hand against Arsenal, I think we'd still be level on points because of the goal difference.
What really did us a favour was West Ham dropping points actually against Newcastle. Yeah. I don't think people quite understand how pivotal that is to us getting top 4. The fact that they dropped points against a very poor Newcastle side as well.
We need to beat Arsenal. We need to beat West Ham. The home games anyway, so we should be winning our home games. But I think Man United. I think we need to win at Man United. But I think a draw. We certainly don't want to lose at Man United.
Yeah. Well, that's the point, isn't it? Wherever you want to finish in the league, you win your home games.
Yeah,
and you don't lose to the teams around you. Obviously, when you're at the bottom, you have to beat the teams around you. But if you're trying to get top 4, you just don't lose to the teams around you. But a few more comments. Wayne Bonner, who's always on Spurs channels. Wayne. How you doing, Wayne? He's got a scoop here. I hope you're all well. Apparently, Pep spent the last 2 days putting his toys back in his pram, looking for a wig to replace the hair he pulled out against Spurs.
Is that the hair he's pulled out every time they played us? Yeah.
And George has said, Weghorst, I'm not sure I pronounced
Weghorst,
who I wanted to come to Spurs, sit the ground running at Burnley, 3rd highest goal scorer in the Bundesliga behind Lewandowski and Haaland, and he's a big, strong guy as well. So you're going to need a Dier there or someone to really show him what the Premier League's about. And Bob Spur, the great win over City will mean nothing if we don't beat Burnley and Leeds. It's all about taking the mindset, determination, momentum, and fighting spirit into the next 2 games. Big week.
100%.
Alan and George agree with that. With George saying, I think Conte will be really animated more than ever. Mattarella again. I think Kulusevski, Bentancur were Conte's main targets. He already wanted both at Inter. Wayne as well, agreeing with Bob. Can't sit on our laurels and take it for granted that we'll win because we beat Man City. Need to maintain the focus and mentality into the rest of the season. It's going to be a difficult game. And George has said he'd play Stevie B in the cup. But in terms of the game, Brad, we've got to cut the mistakes out and the penalty. What did you make of the penalty? For me, I watching it live, I didn't think much of it. But obviously, they appealed quite heavily.
Yeah, I mean,
I saw the first replay, I said to my dad, that's a penalty all day long. Yeah. Whether it's harsh, whether the rule's harsh, he's got his hand up like that and he's moved it down. So
I don't think
his hand towards the ball. And whether I'd be saying that if we hadn't have won the game is another thing. But for me, at the time, when I saw the replay, dead cert penalty. And you'd be screaming for that. Yeah. You'd be screaming for that.
The funny thing about that, I personally don't think it was deliberate, but I don't think you can say that from watching the replay because the Middlesbrough against Man United cup tie where the guy came over and his hand hit his hand, I thought as a dead cert should have been a free kick and they scored from that. But the ruling was, and I watched the old ref watch the next day, was that he didn't mean to do it. The ball hit him rather than hitting the ball. Even though
if that's the case, then I'm going to retort back, because that kind of play was exactly the similar sort of handball that was done in the Champions League final when Mane kicked the ball into Sissoko's arm.
Exactly, and this is the problem. It's the rule rather than the actual decision. So when I saw the replay, I thought to myself, yeah, okay, you could argue it's going to be harsh. I don't think he meant to do it, but I knew it was going to be a penalty, and that's how it was. But yeah, it's the rule, Josh. They've got to do something about it. And
I think he possibly slipped Romero
every 3 or 4 games.
I think he possibly slipped Romero, in fairness to him, but he did move his hand towards the ball. In terms of the Champions League final, it was harsh, but if you're putting your arm out like that, I mean, he was pointing, but you're asking for potential trouble, especially Mane's a clever player.
His arm was already out. But what I'm referring back to is the decision that Brad was talking about, where the ball had hit the player's arm and his arm was like this, but because he didn't mean to do it, which is why the free kick wasn't given.
I mean, it definitely needs sorting out, and because I'll be honest with you, I don't actually know the offside rule or the handball rules anymore.
It's like quantum mechanics.
Yeah, because
you say you understand it, you don't.
They're rules made up by people who have never ever played football in their life.
It's the handball rule. It's handball rule where the Middlesbrough one, where because he didn't mean it, they scored from it, and that's why it wasn't handball. A few seasons back, when we got the 2-2 draw at Man City, they had a last-minute goal for that same reason. That was just a deflection that went into their player's path, and he scored.
Mo Salah at Tottenham, the handball that was deliberate handball that wasn't given as a handball.
They either say every handball's a handball, or they don't. It's confusing. They seem to change it every 3 or 4 games.
Right. So following this clarification, it is a handball offence if a player deliberately touches the ball with their hand/arm, for example, moving their hand/arm towards the ball, which is exactly what Romero did. By having their arm in such a position, the player takes a risk of their hand or arm being hit by the ball and being penalised. That's the official. That's the FIFA ruling. So, yeah, that Romero penalty was 100% a penalty.
I've got no.
He moved his arm towards the ball, whether that was intentional or not.
Yeah,
it looks deliberate. It probably was deliberate, and ultimately they got a jammy penalty from it. It was just unlucky
looked to me like they wanted him sent off as well.
Yeah, it wasn't a yellow, but I think that would have been harsh. But we won, so who gives a shit?
Exactly.
Matteo Paratici, unlike Levy, who ran things before, is friends with a lot of people in the business. Regarding the penalty, the ref only looked at the TV screen for a split second and gave a penalty. I think as soon as you saw the replay there, it didn't need like 5 looks at it. And he goes on to say, offside was ridiculous. We scored and then they gave it. Wow, how late do you want to call it? I mean, that's another thing. I mean, that's been going on for ages.
I'll tell you, the penalty was given like 2 minutes after the handball actually happened. So,
but both decisions, I think, were the right decision. It's not like Harry Kane offside against Southampton, where I still can't see where the offside is on that one. He was offside. He was past the last man, albeit marginally. And really, he can see the whole every single defender in there, so being offside there is pretty poor. But
I think there needs to be some clarification put on that offside rule, because I think being offside by a fingernail is a little bit too harsh. What it should be, the referee should get it replayed in full speed 3 times, right? If he can't make his mind up after those 3 times, it's not offside. If it's definitive that this player is offside, it's offside. I say on any stream I get the chance to is get rid of the lines. Please get rid of those lines. And the thing is about that, and I've always said, you can still look at it and say if a player's offside or not. If there's any doubt, he's not offside. Now, when they showed the replay, he was just you could tell he was just slightly ahead of the 2 defenders. So I thought, okay, yeah, he is offside. And that's all he did. That's all it took, was just to look at it. You don't even have to frigging lines there. And if you've got any doubt, then he's not offside. And then the attacking team get the benefit of the doubt, and you get more goals. But the only problem with me is it took such a long time. I'm celebrating that we're 3-1 up, and then VAR is offside. But what happened when we got the 3rd goal? I actually thought Kulusevski was a mile offside, so I didn't even celebrate it because I thought, they can get that offside. And obviously, when you watch it back when they showed the replay, he was miles onside. But when I'm watching it live, as the ball comes across the he's offside, and we scored, I'm saying, I'm not. What's the point in celebrating? Because they're going to rule it off anyway.
Well, I watched the game in a pub. We were outside in like a big hut kind of thing with heaters on. I had to go to the loo, went back, came back. There was a TV inside, saw it was 3-1, saw the replay, went back to my seat all happy, and then Kane's got his hand on his head because it's been given offside. What gets me is it was Bamford, I think last season against Crystal Palace, he was offside because his hand was offside. I forgot that.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean.
I forgot he was also a volleyball player, a basketball player. So for me, if they're going to do the lines and everything like that, and it's the same with Kane with his shoulder offside, he scored with his foot. So if the foot's offside, give it offside. But then they'll go, but he used his shoulder to barge someone out the way, so his shoulder was in play. It's just...
But even the Bergwijn goal disallowed against Southampton,
that was looked at heavily as well.
Yeah, I think it was just his foot. He was actually level with the player, but his foot was outstretched, and that was what.
This is what I mean. This is what I mean.
It's ridiculous.
Fractional.
To me, he's level with the player, so he's onside. So
what if you're doing that? What if you're pointing towards the position you want the ball to go in?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, that comes to my point. That's with your hand, which can't be used to score a goal. So therefore, it doesn't matter on the offside. But it's rules made up by people who've never played football. And I said about 5-6 years ago, when the phases of playing all of this business, just change it to if you're offside. But then they've changed it now to like
as much as we hate him.
Yeah,
as much as we hate him, Arsene Wenger. Go on, carry. Sorry, Chris. Go on, carry.
Which is what they're doing now. If you're offside, you're offside. But it's got silly. But
yeah.
but this is the thing. And being your hand offside, it doesn't matter if your hand's offside.
Well, it's the interfering with play thing, isn't it? Bill Nicholson said, "Well, if you're not interfering with play, what are you doing on the pitch?"
This is the thing. This is the thing. As much as we hate him, Arsene Wenger has actually gone to FIFA and with an idea on how to develop this offside rule, and it looks so much better than what it currently is.
Yeah.
But like this whole, is it obvious? Is it blatant? If not, if there's any doubt, it isn't offside.
Exactly.
That's exactly the same approach that Arsene Wenger had when he took it to FIFA, and it was actually contested quite a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, that's because whether you like him or not, it's someone who knows football and has played
exactly.
Managed
I mean,
understands the rules, understands how football works, rather than a businessman.
Yeah, I mean, I can't stand Arsene Wenger simply based on the fact that he was manager of Arsenal. But take that aside. The guy knows football and he's a footballing genius, whether you like him or not.
Mm.
Yeah, and George is, it's for Paratici. When you buy a player, make sure they got small feet and short arms.
we might have just filled a squad 11 of. We should probably just fill a starting 11 of Tyrannosaurus Rexes, then, didn't they? The little arms.
Yeah, I think make the shirts without sleeves for the defenders.
Yeah, so they have to be like that.
Yeah.
Well, if we had T-Rexes, we wouldn't get any man sent off because no referee's going to give him a red card. They'll be easy.
Bite his head off.
But yeah. Before we go on to the main two guys, I wanted to shout out to this guy. I thought Højbjerg was an absolute beast. I thought that's been his best game for a long while.
Was that a genius decision by Conte leaving him out against Wolves?
Possibly. I mean, there's talk now that he refused to shake his hand after the game, but I'm not sure now. I think he was just celebrating.
It's the press making stuff up.
But what I loved as well is it was Kane's one-on-one, which he missed. City then went up forward. De Bruyne has got it running, and Højbjerg's just dragged him down. He's taken he's taken a kick for his troubles as well. But that's the fighting mentality. That's the 50-50s. That's the you're not getting past me, which has been missing.
You shall not pass.
Yeah, I thought him and Bentancur together looked really solid, and I thought he was an absolute beast. And he's been given a lot of flack recently, which possibly quite rightly because his standards have dropped, but I think that's more to do with tiredness as well.
Oh, yeah.
Rather than just
non-stop since he joined us.
But yeah, I mean, what did you make of him, Josh Højbjerg? And do you think Skip's got a problem now and getting in if he's going to play two of those midfielders with Bentancur obviously playing well, and if Højbjerg carries on like that? Because we'll need Højbjerg in that Burnley game. We need a fighter in that game. And
I personally
said he's covered a lot of ground.
I've personally been a massive critic of Højbjerg in the sense of I think this season he hasn't been good enough. But yes, Saturday he proved that he's definitely good enough. But again, I want to see it on a consistent basis. I don't just want to see it happen once in a blue moon. It's all well and good these players having good games. It's all well and good bagging goals and being a defensive masterclass. But You need to do it consistently, and I think that's going to be. I refuse to make. I refuse to make any comment on Højbjerg now about his new approach to the game until he does it consistently for a couple of weeks. After that, I'll speak up about it. But as of right now, I refuse to say anything. He played a good game on Saturday. That's all I'm going to say.
He was pretty consistent.
Alan said Alan said if Skip is fit, he'll rotate with Højbjerg. But sorry, Brad.
I was going to say, I think Højbjerg had a pretty consistent season in his first season, and I think Chris, you're right in saying that he's played so many games that you're going to have a burnout at some stage. You can't...
the Emerson situation in the Euros, I don't think that could have been easy.
Well, exactly, he's played a main role in that as well, wasn't he? So yeah, no, I mean, he needs consistency like any player does, really, and that's how we're going to get anywhere is by having consistent. I mean, that sounds obvious, but a consistent team performance.
Yeah, I agree with Josh. Not just Højbjerg, the whole team now need to show that fight and mentality and clinicalness against Burnley, and then Leeds, like Bob Spurs said, massive week. Let's get on to the two main men, Kane and Son. Kane had an average game because he only scored 2. But yeah, the band are back together again. They've been, they're now joint level with I think Drogba and Lampard in the most goals. Between them, one assist the other.
One has to set up the other to get into this.
But it wasn't until I watched Match of the Day and Alan Shearer's analysis, Brad, on how good Kane was. I mean, the game plan was obviously there for him to drop deep, but that first goal, I'm not sure Emerson would have played that ball that quickly. Obviously,
what did surprise me? Yeah, what did surprise me about that first goal was that Son didn't shoot; that he actually did square it off.
Yeah, I think he's probably thought I'm going to go towards goal. As soon as he's looked up, bloody hell, Emerson's right on me here.
Yeah,
it's going to be
it's perfect. That worked perfectly. Yeah. But no, I think Kane. I mean, we all saw how good he played. There's two ways of looking at it. One was he was saying to Man City, "You only valued me at 75 million. Well, fuck you. This is what I can do." Or on the other side, it could be that. We all said not me personally, but a lot of people said nasty things about Kane not loving the club, blah, 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 blah. And he said, well, what's the best way to Kane to show the fans, no, I love this club, than scoring a couple of goals and playing a man of the match against the team that wanted to buy him? I'd rather it be that way, that he's trying to prove to us that, no, I'm Tottenham now. This, and what way to prove it by scoring goals against Man City?
Yeah. What way do you lean on that? Because you've kind of beat me to it. I put this on Twitter after the game. I'll apologise now for anyone who hasn't seen it. I was a little bit drunk when I wrote the answers here, and you only get a few characters. But yeah, Kane scoring twice against the team he allegedly wanted to join, but they never made an acceptable offer. Do you think Kane's performance was one of committed to Tottenham and angry at City, or just another game? So was it Spurs all the way? City should have bought me, or I just want to play football? I was slightly surprised with, you can't see that, there's 26 votes there. Thanks everyone for voting. 50% for Spurs all the way, 8% for City should have bought me, 42% I just want to play football. But it wouldn't surprise me if that 8% is what it was, as well as I'm a Spurs fan. It wouldn't surprise me if it's all 3, to be perfectly honest. But what way would you lean on that, Brad? And we'll come to Josh in a second.
I think it's Spurs. I think it's Spurs all the way. I mean, the 2 games that we've had last-minute victories, I've never seen him smile so much. Yeah. And when you saw the post-match interview with Son and Kane, they were happy. They were smiling. I think it's Spurs all the way. I don't think it was. Well, this is what you're missing. See, I think it's more of, you Spurs fans. Some Spurs fans doubted me and my sort of how I'm going to play, but this is what I can do. Don't doubt me, sort of thing. That's how I saw it anyway.
Yeah. What do you think, Josh? I'll put the.
I think it's Spurs all the way. I think he's proved it. I'm still going to be a little bit hesitant because obviously his debacle in the summer. I've always been a firm believer that if a player says that he doesn't want to be or expresses that he doesn't want to be at your club in any way, shape or form, the best thing to do is to let that player go. Is this Harry Kane just up-tooling to get a move away from Tottenham again? Who knows? I want to see him sign a new contract, really, just to see how dedicated to the club he is. But as for right now, Spurs all the way.
Yeah, but in terms of Saturday, him and Son, I mean, the ball from Son for the Kane's first goal was superb. I mean, he's run 30 yards there, Kane, so you can argue about the defending all the way. And then the desire for the winning goal from Kane, Walker's kind of stood there. There's only one winner there. I'm having this ball. And all Kulusevski's really done is hang it up and said to the striker,
there you go.
Go and do your bit. And Son, willing runner, as I say, but that ball to him, absolutely superb. It's a brilliant finish, but the ball made that. And he was unlucky with his shot, Son, in the second half, I think, just after or just before that goal.
He hit the goalkeeper, didn't he? Hit the goalkeeper, I think. Goalkeeper
and then the awareness to just give it to Kulusevski for the first goal, I think, because he took an absolute clattering from Ederson as well, because he's come storming out. So I think that's possibly why he's passed it, because he's seen that he's not got the room to pass it. But the desire from Kane for that third goal and the combination between them for the second one, and I jokingly said as well, Sessegnon, what a pass to Son from him, world class. It's very similar to when Bale scored against that screamer against West Ham. Tom Carroll got an assist there by literally just putting his foot on the ball and moving out of the way.
Son's goal against Burnley was a phenomenal assist, wasn't it?
I mean, I wouldn't say hopefully this kick starts both of their seasons, but it's a real catalyst to hopefully kick it on. And he should have got three. He got 3 goals, Kane, and an assist. One was unfortunately chalked off, but he didn't get an assist, did he? He started the move, but it's Son's assist. But that ball for Son was absolutely superb. And if you look at it again, he's taken 3 City players out. Both of them have, with Son's run and Kane's first time ball. Absolutely superb, and they just couldn't handle him. And he played countless other ones, strength, which I haven't seen from him, winning headers. But
he looks determined, doesn't he? He looks determined. I mean, I thought although we were awful against Wolves, I thought he looked like he was, he wanted to do it by himself a lot of the time. I thought he looked determined in that game. So I think he's got his mojo back. And let's all face it, 2 things. One, a lot of us before the end of the season were wishing him well. We knew he was going to go, and we're wishing him well, saying, "Don't blame you. We're awful. Good luck." And then the other thing was, he's always said that he will stay at Spurs if Spurs show ambition. Now, you can't honestly say that we showed any ambition after the end of last season. And now we've got Conte. We are showing ambition. So I think that if Conte stays and they back him and it looks like, we're going to have a strong season, Kane will stay. I don't think there's any doubt about that. And I think people seem to forget. The only thing was that, when he came back to the club, and it was delayed by 1 or 2 weeks, whatever reason it was, that put him in the bad light.
Yeah, well, Alan said he stayed away. It was down to Lloris, but that's all speculation.
Well, we don't know. We never will. But but it was that was the thing. If he'd have come back to training on day 1 and put in, then no one would have questioned him. But because he didn't turn up for training, everyone thought, he's trying to get a move, blah blah blah. Suddenly he's not the player that people thought he was. But I think that we all seem to forget that everyone was wishing him well on his way when we were doing awful last season. So if we show ambition, and obviously Conte's an ambitious man, then I think he'll stay there. He obviously likes playing for Conte. I think
he voted as him for the coach of the year in the Ballon d'Or this year or very late last year. I can't remember when it was.
But you get dicks like Graham Souness on Sky Sport saying, "So Graham, if you're watching this, you are a dick." He says, Kane obviously putting himself in, or words to this effect, Kane putting himself in the shop window again for Man City. And it's like, Jesus Christ, will they ever? It's the press make up the stories. It's like the Conte. I'm going off on a rant here. The Conte interview that got all controversial last week. That was the press and talk Sky Sports and talk shit radio making a story out of nothing. Because when I read the story, it said, you'd think that we're like numerically we're weak. And I think, I know what you're saying there. You're saying that it looks like we might be weak numerically. I knew what he was saying. Most of the fans agree with all the stuff he was saying. But no, the press wanted him to make out something. You got Josh, do apologise. Jason Cundy, whose name is obviously spelt wrong. Jason Cundy, he was saying, he obviously doesn't care about Tottenham, or was to that effect. And I'm thinking, Jesus Christ, And you saw Conte in his interview. He's sort of, why are you trying to make a story out of this, or words to that effect? And it just really annoys me. And that's why on Saturday, that was a team performance. That was for Conte, the team, the supporters. That's who won that game on Saturday. Nothing to do with the press, Sky, talk shit, Jason Cundy. the board, Daniel Levy, whatever. It's to do with the players, the coach, and the fans. That's what won us at the game. And that's how we're going to get over this. How we're going to get top four. How we're going to win the cup is by being that team, that solid family of a team.
Yeah, hopefully we're on our way to doing that and becoming the team. Because Josh, like we've mentioned already, Burnley on Wednesday at Burnley. They're right down at the bottom. Never give you an easy game. You're going to have to really earn that. It's not going to be the the counter-attack game, I don't think, anyway. I know Alan, I think it was said that Burnley have to come out. I'm not sure they do. A draw is a good result for them. How do you see the game going? And do you think we'll, play the same team, same formation and same personnel? And how do you think we'll set up? Do you think we'll try and take it to them, or we'll kind of sit back and look for the counter-attack that I'm not sure will be there?
I personally believe it's going to be a tough game. I genuinely do. Burnley haven't really got much to fight for in terms of, they're going to go out there with a point to prove that, we've got nothing to fight for. We're just going to enjoy the game, and we've got something to fight for. And I think that's going to never underestimate someone if they got nothing to fight for. Do you know what I mean? Like it's one of those. Burnley have always been a tough game. I recall a couple of seasons back when they were already relegated, and we had them on the last game of the season, and they turned us over 4-2 at Turf Moor. I remember that game specifically well. But I genuinely see Burnley being a tough game. But I reckon we can come away with 3 points if we keep adapt and apply ourselves. I reckon we can walk away with a 2-0 win.
Yeah. Do you think he'll pick exactly the same 11? Obviously, if no,
he has to. He has to.
Yeah, I agree. A comment from George on your point earlier, Brad. Don't watch Sky Sports, only the matches, no pre or post talk. Talk Sport must have switched that off for a few years now. But yeah, Brad, in terms of Burnley.
Well, going by what Josh was saying, Burnley at the moment, they're 5 points from safety, but they've got 2 games in hand on Newcastle. So they still technically, with the whole season to go, have got something to play for. So I don't think they're going to approach the game with, got nothing to lose, whatever. I think they're going to be, still trying to do something. Look, I've given up predicting Tottenham. I really have. After the display against Brighton, I'm going, oh yeah, that's great. This is a new team, blah 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 blah. Then we lost to Southampton and Wolves, and I'm down in the dumps again. Oh, we got Man City. I'm going to watch that from behind the blue sofa, and then we go and beat Man City. So I've given up. All I know is that we have to win on Wednesday. We have to win on Saturday, and then let's see where we go from there. I know it's a cliche. Let's see if we can get 2 wins and then take it from there. Because no one in the Premiership, or certainly going for top 4, is actually looking like they've got it nailed on. So, and we got to go to Old Trafford. We got to play Arsenal at home, so we got to play West Ham at home. So, although technically speaking, Wolves are above us at the moment. So, but yeah, I've given up trying to predict what Spurs are going to do. But yeah, hopefully they'll make us all happy on Wednesday and beat Burnley.
Yeah, I think I agree with Josh. Has to be the same team and has to be the same commitment. And I say every bloody time on here, the first 50-50, I want to see one of their players go up in the air and show that they're in for a game. We mean business, because guaranteed Burnley, the first 50-50 will be trying to send one of our players up into the air. So we've got to match that. Weghorst as well will be, he's big, strong. Their plan will obviously be, like it has been for years, crosses into the box. So, we're presumably going to have a different tactic of letting them have it in the middle rather than wide. And if they do get it wide, we've got to close those crosses down.
Let's hope we go from kickoff and get the early goal, because then that'll force Burnley to come at us. They can't sit back then.
Yeah, absolutely. No. Yeah. But again, how often do Spurs let you down after something so promising? But yeah, it's been great talking to you both. Pretty much run out of things to talk about.
It's been great being on, man. It's been great.
It's been a pleasure having you both on. But Brad, I'll come to you first because I know you've got to hop off. Thanks so much for coming on. At Brad, is your Twitter handle. You've got a music channel coming soon.
Hopefully, because it's my last week in my job at the moment, so I'm going to be a free spirit next week. So hopefully in March and April I'll get something up on. Look, it's just going to be basically my own songs, just me singing and playing guitar and my own lyrics, my own music, really, just to get it out there. So yeah, I'll let everyone know when it's up and running. And if you can click a like and subscribe and whatever, and click like and subscribe to Let's Talk Tottenham, click like and subscribe to JTTG 1882, and click like and subscribe to every single Tottenham content creator. It doesn't take 2 seconds, doesn't cost anything, and it just helps the community. It's this absolutely wonderful Tottenham community. So
absolutely,
thanks everyone for tuning in, and I have to go. And I shall see you guys later.
Best of luck on your retirement, Brad.
Cheers, Josh. Cheers, Josh.
Yeah, cheers, Brad. And for that music channel, come on, you Spurs.
Go on, you Spurs.
Yeah, for that music channel, go and follow Brad on @Brad Hotspur, and you'll obviously get updates when that's on. And Josh, Josh, the Tottenham guy on YouTube. Tell us a bit about your channel, what kind of stuff.
Yeah, so I basically do the same thing as you do, Chris. I just talk loads of crap about Tottenham, really, like instant match reactions, how we feel about the games gone past, what we can do to get better. It's basically just same old generic Tottenham channel, but no, I mean,
I've got to bring technology into this place. With
I think everyone adds a different element, and I tend to find that I think I can bring a bit of I find I can bring a bit of character to it. So that's we all approach it in a different way. I've got my own unique way of doing things. You've got your own unique way of doing things. But yeah, if you're interested in seeing some more talk about Tottenham, come on over, subscribe to me. Go follow me over on Twitter, JTTG1882. Just to give a massive shout out to Bob Spur, who has been watching. Bob Spur, I hope you get well. I hope you get well soon, brother. I know it's been a long journey, but it's not over yet. So all the best, man. We can't wait to have you back. And yeah, a massive shout out to Brad, who's just been in, and best of luck on your retirement, mate.
Absolutely, yeah. Very well said with those 2 points on Bob and Brad, and I completely echo both of those. But yeah, so thanks to Brad, obviously, who's just had to head off. Yeah, and last comment from George: Kane to put Burnley away before half-time.
Optimistic, I love it.
Yeah, same here. But don't do it to yourself, George. Don't do it to yourself. But yeah, many thanks to great thanks to Brad, who was on before, been on plenty of times. And Josh, welcome back to the show. Pleasure having you on. Welcome anytime.
But it's going to be the polar opposite. Brad's going to be more of a free spirit because he's leaving work, and I'm going back to work. So it's like one leaves and another door opens. But there.
Yeah. Yeah, great having you both on. Pleasure having you on. Welcome anytime. Thanks to everyone in the chat. And yeah, Alan, see you on the next one. Hopefully you'll be on. I'll message you on WhatsApp because I saw you messaged me about that. Yeah, give me a couple of minutes. And thanks to everyone watching and everyone who listens and adds comments. Please hit the like. Please hit the subscribe. We're 191 subscribers at the moment. It'd be great to get to 200 by the Burnley game. And then we can try and get to the next target. It really helps the channel. Then go into the description, go to Josh Tottenham Guy, go onto YouTube there and do the same for him. Hit the subscribe, go watch his videos, hit the likes as well.
There you go.
Yeah, be back on Friday. Hopefully looking forward to a third win out of 3. Leeds after beating Burnley, but it's going to be a real tough game. It's going to be a real scrappy game. It would not surprise me if that's only 1-0 to someone or even a 0-0. I don't think there'll be many more than 2 goals in the entire game. But yeah, we really need to cut those mistakes out, be clinical, and get Kane, Kulusevski, Son on the ball, and because they showed what they can do against C, absolutely deadly if you give them a chance. So hopefully that happens. Back on Friday, hopefully with another, positive show and not a negative one like we've had for the last 2 home games. But yeah, here's hoping, and come on, you Spurs.
Come on, Spurs.
Thank you so much for watching, for everybody who participated in the live chat and added comments. Before you go, please make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Anybody who couldn't watch the live video, you can still catch us on YouTube. Add any comments, suggestions or questions to the comments section on the video. Anybody who's listened to the audio-only podcast, thank you so much for listening. Anybody who wants the audio-only podcast, you get this wherever you get your podcast from. Alternatively, if you go to Twitter, @LTalk Tottenham, you'll find all the information there. We'll be back soon. We're live Mondays, 8 p.m, Fridays, 12:30 UK time. Until then, come on, you Spurs!